This is the morning weather briefing. This is for Thursday, the 12th of September. I'm James Spann. Needless to say, the weather across Alabama today, windy, wet, maybe a few brief isolated tornadoes. A very active weather day ahead, so let's dive right into it. We'll check the radar. We're live this morning at 5:12. And you can see large areas of rain moving rapidly northward across the state as Francine begins to cross over into Mississippi. The remnant circulation of Francine will be going right up Interstate 55 today. That puts Alabama over on the wet, unsettled east side of the system. And overnight, so far, so good. To my knowledge, we have not had any tornado warnings issued by the National Weather Service offices down to the south. In fact, let me peek at it real quick. And no, I see no tornado warnings out of Mobile or Panama City Beach so good. So that's a good thing. Maybe it holds like that today, but we sure can't guarantee that. Here's the big picture. And, of course, the flow pattern across the Deep South dominated now by the circulation of Francine. This is the radar composite. And, again, you can see large areas of rain over much of Alabama and Mississippi. Some of the heavier rains over the Florida Panhandle early this morning. We note the rain has ended for New Orleans. They had over 7 inches of rain yesterday and last night, some major flooding there. The rain has ended for really a pretty good chunk of Mobile and Baldwin counties, and the weather will be improving on the Gulf Coast throughout the day today as Francine lifts northward. So this is the watch warning map, and there's so much going on here, it's hard to sort out the situation, but here's the deal. Number one, we have a flash flood watch for most all of Alabama. The county's in green. And underneath that, we have a wind advisory for most of Alabama today because of gradient winds that might gust up to 30, 35, maybe 40 miles per hour in spots. There's a tornado watch in effect for extreme South Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. The county's in yellow there. And again, the tropical storm warning in effect for parts of South Mississippi. So a lot happening. Now, in terms of the severe weather threat today, this is the risk through tonight, and this is for the possibility of these brief, isolated tornadoes. And let me just say up front here, again, this is not like what we would see in November, March, April. The tropical tornadoes are different. They are typically short-lived, low-topped, many times under the radar, literally under the radar. They might last for a few minutes. It's hard to get a warning out for these things, so just be weather aware today and tonight. A level 2 out of 5 risk from Birmingham down to places like Bruton, Andalusia, Geneva, Dothan. That would include Montgomery, Auburn, Opelika, Troy, Luverne, Eufaula, Greenville, Evergreen. The rest of the state in a level 1 out of 5 risk of isolated tornadoes today. And then tomorrow we have a level 1 out of 5 risk for a pretty good chunk of the state as the remnant circulation of Francine stalls out near Memphis. And if we can see some instability, again, there could be a brief isolated tornado or two in that dark green on that map. So again, tomorrow, be weather aware. And then on day 3, which is Saturday, no organized severe weather expected across the country. So this is the expected rain for the next 7 days, and the numbers have really jumped up here. And this product is a vetted product. It is prepared by NOAA's WPC, their Weather Prediction Center. And understand, this is not the rain today. This is the rain for the next 7 days. Of course, obviously, today will be wet at times and tomorrow, but we'll have a chance of showers over the weekend as well, maybe into early next week. And this is suggesting amounts in the 5 to 8 inch range. Wow. For Birmingham, Huntsville, Anniston, Gadsden, the areas in yellow on that map. And the amounts taper off. You get down to Mobile County, hardly any rain at all for the next 7 days. And again, we'll see how that all plays out. But again, this is a drought buster if this works out. Now, that might be a little aggressive, but even if we get half that amount, that would be a good thing. And again, the new drought monitor comes out a little later this morning. This product is released once a week on Thursdays. And again, the whole state is in drought, so rain is a good thing. So let's discuss the tropics. This is the wide view this morning. And, of course, Francine is inland and weakening rapidly. There are some other areas of interest to watch. A couple of little features in the central Atlantic, that's east of the Leeward Islands. Those will not develop. I think we can just almost take those things off the map. There's a chance a low could form off the coast of the Carolinas over the weekend that will be drifting inland. Really not a pure tropical system. That would be a hybrid, if anything forms there. And the other item is Tropical Depression number 7 out there in the eastern Atlantic. And this is in no hurry to move. The steering currents are weak out there. And a couple of points about this. Number one, the Hurricane Center keeps it under hurricane strength for the next 5 days. Keeps it as a tropical storm. This thing is far, far from any landmass. And here's a look at modeling. This is coming off the GFS Ensemble, and notice that most of the ensemble members want to turn this thing north into the open Atlantic. You got a couple of members that bring it west, but there's a reasonable backing behind the idea of this turning north into the open Atlantic, and it just stays far from any landmass. So really, there's nothing to be overly concerned about for the next 5 days at least. And again, Francine, of course, is inland and in the process of dissipating today. Francine this morning is centered a little north of New Orleans, really on the Florida-Louisiana state line. And it will weaken to a tropical depression. Winds are down to 40, 45 miles an hour. And you can see that remnant circulation coming right up Interstate 55. And remember, the impact of a tropical system will be along and east of the center. And that puts Alabama on the unsettled side. But again, as the system lifts north, conditions improve on the Gulf Coast by the time the weekend gets here. Now, the weather's going to improve today. In fact, the sun should come out. Now, I know if you're in the Florida Panhandle this morning, it's pouring. It's not a good morning, but the weather even there will improve later today. In terms of the rip current danger, needless to say, it's high today and tonight and tomorrow, but then only a low rip current risk over the weekend and through next week. So if you're beach bound for next week, everything's looking pretty good. Let's look at the situation today. What can we expect? So this is the GFS model fans. The 06E run valid today at 4. Got a trough back in the northwest. Of course, the remnants of Francine should be south of Memphis, still under 1,000 millibars. And again, in that configuration, you have to wonder, could we see a few brief tornadoes today? So let's look at the high-resolution modeling. This is the high-resolution HRRR, HRRR, high-resolution rapid refresh, and this is valid this evening at 6 o'clock. And the radar could look something like this. And you can see that the really big rain mass is over West Tennessee, Arkansas, North Mississippi, directly with the remnants of the system. But over here, we'll have these showers and storms around, these feeder bands going into that. And we'll be watching for signs of those trying to rotate. Now, one of the elements, doesn't matter if it's tropical or not, you still need some instability here. It's going to be very hard to get any tornado going in a stable air mass. This is the projected surface-based instability this evening at 6 o'clock. And again, you can see really no surface-based cape, no instability over the Tennessee Valley, and that should hopefully help to mitigate any tornado formation there. There is instability available south of a line from near Jasper to Birmingham down to about Lafayette. And, of course, the higher values down in the Florida Panhandle, but the better shear values are displaced to the north where the air is fairly stable. So at first glance, it just seems a little out of phase for a big tornado day, but where you got some overlap here, this is the STP, the significant tornado parameter. And again, this is valid this evening at 6 o'clock, just one moment in time here. And the numbers aren't that impressive, just 1 to 2, maybe 3 units from near Tuscaloosa down to Montgomery and Enterprise and Dothan. And I will say with tropical systems, sometimes these traditional composite indices don't apply that well to tropical situations. So, again, just everybody statewide needs to pay attention to warnings today. But remember, if we do have a couple of these small tropical tornadoes today, they can often get down with no warning. It's just impossible. They might last for 3-4 minutes. They go back up, and by the time a warning goes out, they're gone. I say this a lot. Sometimes it's like playing whack-a-mole. You know, you see a good signature on radar, the warning goes out, and boom, it's gone on the next volume scan. So just kind of be weather aware today. So let's look at tomorrow. And what's going to happen, the circulation is going to get up there around Memphis and just stop. It's like it's going to hang out there. And obviously it's much, much weaker, but we stay in a really soupy air mass. There was some idea that we might see a dry slot working in here from the west for part of the state, but it doesn't look that way now. So again, tomorrow it looks like a day with occasional showers and thunderstorms. Not going to rain all day like today, but wet at times. So this is the significant tornado parameter tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock. And again, the numbers just are not that impressive over the eastern half of the state. But again, with the tropical low near Memphis, and if the air can destabilize, there could be a brief tornado or two tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening, especially over north and east Alabama, the areas in green on that map. So again, just pay close attention, and if there is a warning, understand you're not going to get a long lead time like you might with the traditional tornadoes we see during the tornado season here, which is November through May. So many questions about the weekend. Let's go in there and take a look at that. This is Saturday. And again, we stay in a soupy air mass. I'm sorry, let me take that back. This is Saturday, but still we stay in a soupy air mass. Still a chance of showers and storms for the northern two-thirds of the state. The Gulf Coast looks good on Saturday. And understand it will not rain all day. But from time to time, there could be a passing shower or storm. Temperatures will likely be in the 70s during the day. Mid to upper 70s because of clouds and showers. And really the same thing on Sunday. Some chance of rain at times during the day. Not going to rain all day. High Sunday will be in the upper 70s. So let's go to next week. Take a look at Monday. And once again, with this little feature maybe coming in from the east, a pretty good chance of showers and thunderstorms. Tuesday, we're trending drier, and then Wednesday, we go rain-free as we get a northerly flow. And a week from today, this is Thursday, September 19th, there's a trough off to the east, and once again, we look dry. So for next week, we'll mention a chance of showers and thunderstorms on Monday and Tuesday. After that, the latter half of the week looking dry with highs getting back in the 80s. Let's go out 10 days. This is Saturday, September 21st. And again, you can see this upper low that's over the northern Gulf. That's not a tropical system. That's a cold core upper low. And evidence there could be a few showers around on that day. So this is rain for Birmingham. This is coming off the European ensemble. Not as aggressive as the forecast coming from the Weather Prediction Center, known as WPC. The mean is the green line on this map, and it's a little under 4 inches between now and the 27th of September. So look at temperatures coming off the national blend of models. And if this works out, highs will be under 80 all the way through Monday. Mid-70s today, upper 70s tomorrow, over the weekend and Monday, then back in the 80s for the latter half of next week. And the latest long-range guidance, this is for September 19th through September 25th. Temperatures a little above average here if this works out. So this is not good. Double red flags, and you got a bunch of knuckleheads in the water. This was Dolphin Island. Yesterday, we, and the thing is, I understand it's a free country. You can do whatever you want to do here, but it doesn't matter how strong you are or how strong you think you are. In a situation like this, you can get in trouble really quick. So this is some video last night from Dolphin Island. Of course, that's the part of Alabama closest to the landfall point. Landfall was yesterday afternoon south of Morgan City, Louisiana. You can see the storm surge coming in. The storm surge was about 2 to 4 feet down at Dolphin Island. This video was taken last night shortly before midnight. But again, the good news, I really see no evidence of any super major problems on the Alabama Gulf Coast in terms of storm surge or tornadoes or gradient wind. Looking at all the reports through the night, I saw gusts at the Jack Edwards Airport, which is north of the Intracoastal Waterway in Gulf Shores, up to about 35, 40 miles an hour. And, of course, listen, our Gulf Coast can handle that. So one more time, let's go back, kind of review things quickly. For those of you just joining us, we're live at 5:26 this morning. You can see these large areas of rain moving northward across the state. We have, at this point, no active tornado warnings, which is a good thing. The air is pretty stable this morning, and even with a tropical system, you got to have some unstable air. So the better chance of any isolated tornado activity will be later in the day today, especially this afternoon. And again, there's a lot of watches and warnings on this map. Just to sort them out for you, the green, that's a flash flood watch. That's in effect for most of the state for today and tonight. And also there is a wind advisory for much of the state today for gradient winds, not related to storms, that might gust up to 30, 35, 40 miles an hour. We don't think that will cause a lot of tree damage. It might knock down some limbs, but it will certainly be a breezy day today. And again, there is a tornado watch for extreme South Alabama that runs until 6 o'clock. We'll see if they extend that. But so far, Francine has not been a big tornado producer, which is a good thing. We hope it stays that way today. But again, we'll be watching for any sign of rotation with these tropical showers, and especially late this morning and this afternoon as the air becomes a little unstable. That's the severe weather risk today. And again, a low-end threat tomorrow of a few brief isolated tornadoes. And we'll be at it, staring at that radar. And again, obviously, the school programs today have been delayed and postponed. I'll be in the office throughout the day today and tonight. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. Scheduled to speak to a couple of schools tomorrow, but again, we'll see how it goes. We'll be with you throughout the day today as needed. And remember, if we do have a tornado warning, if it's in the Birmingham market, we'll stream it live on the ABC 3340 YouTube channel and Facebook page. And if it's in other parts of the state, it'll be here. For those that are new here, we do this video twice a day, even when the weather's fine, on the James Spann YouTube page and Facebook page. That's where you're watching this right now. And hopefully we get away with nothing through the day today. It's just windy and wet, and that's a distinct possibility. But again, we'll be watching carefully. Invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Stay safe, and God bless.